Hello, welcome to Sunfire Designs. Today I'm going to be making a Majesty Flower. I'm using Art Pro resin and I'm using this square mold by Resinable Creations on Etsy. The center I'm going to use this cute little star that I made using my Molds and Shapes star mold and some extra glitter, and you just want to make sure you press that down nice and firm before you pour anything on it. My first color is Prism Violet by Liquitex, which is gorgeous color. My second color is Quinacridone Magenta, also by Liquitex, as you can see. And then my third color is this beautiful turquoise mica powder in resin, and that is turquoise from Recollections collection at Michael's. That's where you can find that one. It's over in like the scrapbooking section for some reason. And then my white, I use Let's Resin Ocean White and mix that up. And it's not quite all the way opaque. It's kind of at that line in between. And finally, for my clear push, I added some of my Spring Dazzling Diamonds. And you probably can't see it on the video, but it creates these tiny little sparkles. It's like adding glitter to it, but it doesn't sink as much as glitter does. It kind of suspends more, and it's really fine, and it doesn't disrupt your patterns in your pour. So I'm going to mix up my white and put it in my piping bag, which I will try to remember to include a link for. They're great little piping bags, and they're pretty crinkly. I'm sure you've heard me use them before, but they wind up really nicely, and I can hold them in my hand without them unwinding. You could tie the end of it if you wanted to. It's not so thick that you couldn't tie the end, but I find it harder to actually use if I tie the end up. I don't feel like I can get the pressure that I want because I can't really wind it up. But admittedly, I'm not that used to doing it, so I haven't tried that much. I just kind of prefer my own old technique. All right, so I'm taking my sticks out now, and I'm going to prepare to pour my resin into the mold. I'm going to start off with the Prism Violet and pour it around the outside edge of the mold, trying to be as even as possible. However, I am human, so it probably won't be. But I do try to get what I can as evenly as possible. And I'm not sure why I'm pouring so slow. I'm not great at video editing, so I don't have the speed up, go really fast part during parts of it or anything. I don't have the best iPhone with all the cool bells and whistles. So right now I'm pouring in the magenta over the top of the star. I'm only going to use about half of it. I only used about half of the violet the first time, and now I'm going to come back with the rest of the violet and fill it all in. This is done so that the violet doesn't close up, and it still leaves room for the magenta in the middle so it doesn't take over. I mean, it mixes all together in the end, but you don't want those two colors blending and making something else, at least not for the whole thing. So to me, I think that's just why it helps. I'm going to use all that magenta, and then now I'm going to pour the turquoise mica powder mix at the border between these two colors. I love this pattern. It is so amazing, and Amanda did such a good job of creating it. You should definitely check her out over at Crafting Kindness. I will put a link to her page in the description so you can go check it out. She's got some really amazing stuff over there, so definitely go over there. Now I am pouring this very carefully and very straight. I do love making the Majesty Flower in the square mold. For some reason, I just love the way it turns out in the square mold more than I do in the round mold. I just think it's stunning in the square mold. So we will see how stunning this comes out at the end. I'm being very meticulous about this for some reason. All right, now that's done. It's time to pack up my white, excuse me, and pipe my white around inside the mold. You can see that purple and the blue are kind of blending already, which kind of looks cool. I think the blue is kind of going underneath the purple, but the magenta is kind of staying by itself in the center. It will change as everything moves inward, so, but I can see it even happening as I'm watching here. So I'm cutting off the tip of the piping bag. I'm not cutting off a lot because I don't want it to be too big and it flow too fast. If it's smaller, I have a little more control. And I'm going to go ahead and pipe my loop-de-loops around inside the mold. I think they look like cursive E's. That's kind of my take on them. But some people haven't taken cursive. I know that they don't teach cursive anymore in school, so that just means we'll be able to write notes to each other and no one else will be able to read them if they're younger, right? Oh, there goes the dogs. All right, so I'm going to go all the way to the center and then I'm going to stop and go out and start all over again. I'm going to wind up my bag a little bit because I've lost some of the tension in the bag. And so I want to make sure that I have the most control over it as I can. And so now it's time to go through and repeat exactly what I just did. And this just adds dimension and layers of petals, which I think turn out really great. I think Amanda did a really great job on this recipe. I don't know why I'm so hoarse this morning, but so I'm going to go all the way around twice. And then what will happen is I will let it move towards the center. I'm not sure if I did a time lapse or not. It's been a minute since I put this video together. It's been so busy. I've been so busy because I'm a teacher, you know, and the last 2 weeks before the end of the semester are always just insane. Getting ready for final exams because I teach high school and getting everything in the grade book, and the kids are extra squirrely. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, but I'm really eager for us to be out. I have 4 more days, so I'm ready. Now I just torched it and I'm going to let it go and move inward. I remember when I was recording this video, it was really loud in my house, which is why I didn't have the voice recording, why I didn't do it as I did it. But this kind of sucks because I don't remember a lot. I'm kind of doing it on the fly. All right, so it's been a little bit, usually wait about 5 to 10 minutes. And now I'm going through and I'm piping my extra row of loop-de-loops using the leftover resin. And I try to use all of the resin so I don't waste any. I find that the amount I'm using is the perfect amount. And yeah, so I have a little bit left over, so I'm going to go over the row with some extra big loop-de-loops, just trying to use the rest of the resin up. And I know it's not going to go all the way perfectly, but I end up using it all. So now we wait and we let everything move. Oh, nope, we don't. We pour in the push. Getting ahead of myself. Pour in the push. And the push, you need to go really slowly. You don't want to pour it in super fast to disrupt the pattern. So just pour it in really slowly. Make sure you don't overflow your mold. And it also, because you're pouring it in slowly, it won't disrupt that star in the center. So I think it looks really, really cool. Now, for some reason, I left this recording for a while. I don't know why I did that, but you can see it closing up before our very eyes, and so it looks pretty cool. And so I have a little bit of downtime here where I'm not really doing anything, but we're just watching it move towards the center. So please feel free to fast forward if you want to, because I am not sure what I was thinking when I did this, if I forgot to turn the recorder off or if I did it on purpose. I'm not really sure, but you can see it moving. I don't think this is a time lapse. It might have been a time lapse, but anyway, so the center is almost closed, which is what you want. And I find it closes better in the square mold, at least for me, than it did in the round mold or the cascade mold. I'm probably going to have to try again and see if I can recreate it now that I've gotten the square mold down. But anyway, so we're going to just sit here for a second and wait for the tape to run out. I must have forgotten to hit the stop, and I can't edit this because I made this video so that I could do a voiceover, and then I have to go back and add the intro. I'm not great at video editing. I'm sorry. Otherwise, I would put on some music for you. But instead, you're going to listen to my voice, or we're going to have silence until it's done. But anyway, you can see that the outside edge has started to loosen up a little bit as it's moving. And it will move towards the center, but it won't move completely towards the center. But the center in this looks kind of like a starburst in the middle. And it's just kind of happened before our eyes, which is really cool. I really like the way it's looking. It's very promising. I hope you will give this a try if you hadn't. It's really a great technique. All right, any day now it can flip over. Come on, come on. So sorry you guys are stuck here. Well, you're not, but all right, there we go. Finally, it's time to unmold. And it's cold outside, so you'll see me. I've started to wear my flannel shirt when I'm working in the craft room. And look at that. I just love how that came out. It just looks beautiful. You can still see the magenta in the center. I don't know if you just saw those little flashes on there. That is the mica powder. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.